From KETK, you're watching East Texas Live.
Welcome back to East Texas Live. Joining us now is Dr. Suzanne, and she's here to tell us about the 2025 parenting trends.
Well, one of the most important ones, I think, is what I call the worried parent. And this encompasses a lot of worries about financial stability, about safety in the schools and the neighborhood, about the divisiveness with our politics, about just general issues such as having enough food to eat, depending on your socioeconomic status. And I think that encompasses a lot of the parenting trends, even if it's a different focus. Another one is what I call the podcast parent. I don't think there are a lot of these, but I think there are many parents who spend a lot of time listening to podcasts and they get their information there. They maybe have long commutes. They like that for listening to during chores or cooking, which is what I do. And I think that's going to have more and more impact on the future. One of the others that I call sharenting is a combination of oversharing or sharing and parenting. So in this kind of parent, they have used social media to share about their kids, and maybe they have gone past just Facebook for family and friends, and they're sharing to a much broader audience. I think this puts pressure on kids. They start thinking that it's okay to share information. And then we get into that concern about privacy and making sure that the children know that they have to be very careful about what they share as well.
So what should parents do to avoid being nervous in the new year?
Well, I think there are some parents who do get nervous about it after a while, and they become more and more aware of the risks. And that may lead to the parent that decides they're just going to unplug. And that may be an extreme reaction, but I think there are families who just say, look, for the next month or the next 6 months, we're going to just get off social media and we're going to return to putting our phones away during the meals. And I call those the unplugged parents. And that can be a good strategy, even if it's just for a month or two, to do something like that.
What can parents do to set goals for their family in the new year?
Well, I think sit down with your family. Don't necessarily make resolutions because that's a big, heavy word, but you can make goals or you can have family challenges. Maybe you come up with a name like Teen Joneses or Joneses in 2025 or the Smith Advocates, and come up with a goal. Maybe advocate to be an environmentalist for the year and really work on recycling and activities that show that you're really thinking about being a global citizen, and choose something that's important to you as a family.
Where can people get more information?
Well, I represent a company called Lingo Kids. It's a literacy app for children, and we have a lot of information on our website, lingokids.com. And I think that's a good source for finding information on a lot of parenting issues. But just a quick search on the internet on an issue that you're interested in will come up with all kinds of trusted sources.
Can you tell us a little bit more about Lingo Kids?
Well, it's a literacy app for young children, and we offer advice on all kinds of issues, articles on love languages for children, the type of parenting that is in vogue, the authoritarian, the authoritative, the indulgent parent, those kinds of focuses, and literacy issues. We have curated content for children who are on the spectrum. And there's just a wide variety of materials there. Another website that I often recommend for information on media, which is unrelated to us, but I rely on a lot, is called Common Sense Media. And that's their website, commonsensemedia.com. And you can find all kinds of advice there on what kinds of media are appropriate for children at a variety of.
For more information, go to the website right there on your screen.